Hey everyone, continuing where we left off, I was building the frame for the shelves. Once the cross braces were completed and the legs were done, I planed everything and then I used this trim router to round over the edges so they weren't so sharp. Next, I used the router on the shelves themselves to give them a chamfered edge. I did this in multiple passes, making sure not to take off too much material at once. Then I sanded down all the parts that were going to be used for the frame. Moving back over to the shelves, there was a lot of knots and old nail holes that I needed to seal, so I used a clear epoxy resin to get those filled in. After about 20 minutes, I hit it with a heat gun to take care of any bubbles, and then I let this sit for a good 24 hours before moving forward with this. While that was curing, I moved back over to the frame and got everything stained to a dark espresso color. Once that was dry, I moved on to assembling the frame, making sure to glue all of the contact surfaces and then using a mallet to pound everything together. Once the resin cured, I went ahead and sanded all that down so it was flush with the table. I then found some other gaps that I used some sawdust and wood glue to fill in, and then had to come back and sand that down as well. Before staining the shelves, I used a pre-stain conditioner, and then when staining, I applied this and then immediately wiped it off because I didn't want these to get too dark. And it was about this time I realized I had enough materials, so I made a third shelf. And this shelf is going to be going on the wall, so I made some angle brackets. And here I'm just routing those edges on the angle brackets to match the frame. I also had to route the sharp corner on the top of the new shelf. And this shelf got all the same treatment as the others, so I filled it in with epoxy resin. For the other pieces, it was time to seal them with a water-based polyurethane, and I gave everything about 3 coats using a foam brush. Now back over to the wall shelf, I'm just giving everything a good sanding, and then staining everything to match. I then marked the angle brackets so we could drill some recessed holes for mounting. Then I sealed everything up with the same polyurethane, followed by the final assembly. So here we have the before, not much to look at. And after a little staging, here is the after. We have a 3-shelf entryway set, and I think this can fit many different styles. Let me know what you think in the comments. Drop a like and follow or subscribe if you want to see more content like this in the future. Thanks for watching.